we them boys. Power 105. We them boys. Power 105. We them boys. New York. We them boys. Power 105.
Welcome to the sit down on Power 1051FM.com. I'm Don Drew.
And I am the Sneaker Sensei.
Jay, good week.
Very good week.
Good week for sneakers.
Very good week for sneakers.
A lot going on.
Lot going on.
We got to jump right into it. I'm thinking jump right into the pick of the week. You know what? Before we get to that,
All right.
there's been some real fuckery on social media, especially like sneaker social media lately.
Like that's something new. What was it this week?
Well, where should I start? How about this one? How about I'm gonna pull some stuff here. I mean, just some.
Well, talk while you pull.
Yeah, I'm talking. To me, this is the new jig on Instagram right now.
What is that?
This is where every picture, I feel like every picture that gets posted, every picture you get one of these, where someone's like, nice photo. If you tag whoever it is, dope. I'm not even gonna say who it is, and maybe make his blue button green, you might get featured. What kind of dumb shit? Or follow for follow.
Yeah.
Follow these nuts.
Yeah, that's another dark. Well, you know what? It's the youth movement. Let them flourish in that fuckery. I never do it. I wouldn't do it. I'm not gonna do it. But you know, like, if someone's stupid enough to do it, let them do it, Drew.
So
I figured out a long time ago you cannot stop these kids from doing stupid shit.
No, you can't. You know, I was trolling. I was trolling the internet.
You do troll.
I do.
You do troll.
Well, I really have no life, so all I do is sit and read Twitter and Instagram.
Right.
So, our friend of the show, John Geiger.
Right.
Someone tweets at Geiger. I'm gonna put this up, and they're like, "If you follow me,
oh Jesus,
I will put ketchup all over my face."
Please?
John, if you follow me, I will cover my face in ketchup and DM you the pic.
It'll mean the world to me.
It would mean, please, it would mean the world to me. You know, and being a friend of the sit down, Geiger is a man of the people. So what did he do? He followed.
And wait, before you go any further, because I didn't do this, you mean some idiot out there actually put ketchup on their face for a follow?
So
holy.
It turns out it was a girl.
What is the world coming to?
The ketchup selfie, I felt like a pizza.
Wow, just for a follow.
For a follow.
That's whack. That's whack.
Geiger got it like that.
That's whack. Well, Geiger's the man, so who knows whatever she'll put on her face for Geiger.
Yeah. He's a man of the people. I mean, he followed.
Right, you know. Hey.
I'll put it out. If anyone follows me, I don't want to see your ketchup face.
No one's gonna follow you. Drew.
No. No.
No one's gonna follow you. Nobody cares.
Did you see Finish Line tell some dude on Twitter to resell shoes?
Yeah, I saw that, and I thought that was whack. But you know, coming from, you know, all the big companies shun companies for encouraging resale.
Yeah.
And here it is, one of the majors,
yeah,
telling people to resell. Maybe they're just getting with the time.
I guess.
They're gonna be you act like they don't know stuff is gonna get resold anyway.
Right.
So maybe just cutting the chase.
Yeah.
I don't care. Resell
it didn't bother me really.
Resell it.
I thought it was funny. A lot of people got some attention. They also had some stuff last year where didn't they? You mad, bro?
Nah. Yeah, but let people go resell. I'm flourishing $90 and below while you guys rush for shit. I'm flourishing right now.
Right.
I'm flourishing from $90 and below.
Well, I just thought that to open the show today, I wanted to kind of talk about just some of the nonsense out there.
There's a lot of nonsense out there.
Girl put ketchup on her face for Geiger's follow, man.
Well, that's Geiger. You know, who knows whatever she's willing to put on her face for Geiger.
When he comes on to sit down, we got to ask what's going on with his DMs.
His DM game is crazy.
It's got to be. Who do you think? You think he's got a better DM game than Nigel? No way. No. Nigel's just crushing.
Nigel's crushing like 300. This is Sparta.
All right.
His DM game is crazy.
Before everyone gets mad at us for not talking about sneakers.
We got to talk about sneakers.
Right.
People say we're off topic.
Yeah. Well, you're not talking about sneakers.
Yeah.
Okay. So, a lot coming out this week, came out this week. I didn't pull everything. This is not, the sit down is not the show.
Don't watch us if you want a sneaker review.
Yeah.
Because this is not what we do. Because everybody knows what's coming out.
Right.
You know what I did see on the gram that I thought was kind of hot? I thought that Adidas micro pacer.
I didn't see it.
I seen a couple people post up. Was dope. I saw the friends of the show, Premium Pete, post.
Oh yeah.
The micro pacer was dope. I also thought that new Ewing came out. That was dope. That I think the gum bottom.
I'm not a fan of Ewings.
Yeah, but you got to look at what they did. They got it right. Like that Ewings are dope, but that gum bottom and that premium suede and stuff. Those are the two tightest things I've seen on the web. That micro racer was dope.
The Adidas My Flux app is one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Yo, it's people are putting putting cement threes.
It's awful.
People putting Nike skins on this Adidas app.
It's the worst thing ever.
Did Adidas see this coming?
Adidas they're getting hits on the app, so they probably, I mean, the app is probably downloaded like crazy, so Adidas is winning.
I saw some offensive stuff go on there. I think someone like Nike is going to take that idea and flip it to something hot.
Well, I think
you know that's what they do.
Right.
They take stuff, they see stuff and they say, okay, we got the cake to make it better.
So while I've had it up on the screen, Sport Blue 6 comes out Saturday.
Well, can I salute just the brands for bringing that Sport Blue? To us, we call it blue, but you got these different names for blues. But that blue pops. It's a dope color. And
then we differ here, but I think this is fire.
Trash.
Yeah, you're way off of foamposites.
I'm done with foamposites.
This is a super wearable shoe.
Trash. Yo, get the Dr. Dooms. If you want a real black foamposite, get the Dr. Doom. Spend cake, or if you were around to get it one, that's a real black foamposite.
What do you think of the Federer Fugazi 3?
I think it's just taking somebody from the tennis world, introducing them to the brand of Jordan with the stuff that's iconic with Jordan. That's elephant print.
The hype on these was crazy.
Yeah, but in all due respect, like Federer got some fly shoes. Like he's never had a whack shoe. People just wasn't on that wave like they are now. So, it is what it is, but, I'm happy to see that, they're coming out with some. Now people are going to run for those and leave the AirTech challenges alone, and I'm going to scoop every color of that because it's going to be $90 because everybody's going to want those. Thank you.
Ronnie Fogg dropping a double deuce of his ASIC lifestyle stuff.
Yeah. It's quality,
I like the red one better than the green one.
They're ASICs.
Right. They're not really for fat-footed folks like you and I.
I'll lean those shits in a minute.
But they're good. And Ronnie will use premium materials.
Right. Ronnie's a good material. He's an asshole as a person. I said it to his face, but I like the way.
I know, but we want to get Ronnie on the show, Jay, and you calling him an asshole.
But I call Ronnie. Ronnie knows, but I got love for Ronnie.
Okay.
I got love. I'm pissed off at Ronnie because he makes nothing for the big guy.
Right. 40 loose, we know.
Yeah, we need something loose.
This was me. I'm a Trainer SC guy.
I like trainers.
This one is real dope to me. The white black with the Volt.
Yeah.
Not a fan?
Nah. It's all right.
That's what I got.
It's okay.
Pick of the week?
Coming up, Sport Blue 6s.
Yeah. I'm going to get the Sport Blue 6, but if I didn't want to drop $400 with the 6 and the foam, I would get the foam, but I'm passing on the foam and getting the 6.
The thing that sets the foam apart, right, is that foam material.
Right.
Right. So when you make that suede, you're taking away from that foam material. That's what made that shit indestructible and so dope for winter time. It was all around. Now you're taking away. Now what are you gonna do next? You're gonna change it to, like what? Like pebbled leather. Then you're gonna do ostrich, and then you're gonna do lambskin foams. Like it's not a foam. If it's suede, it's a suede. It's not a foam.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just thought that the triple black just looked. I don't know. I liked it. I just liked it.
This new triple black foam or the Dr. Dooms? What would you rather have?
But everyone's going to say the Dr. Dooms. Everyone's going to, because it's one of the most iconic colorways that you can't compare it to that. But it's the Dr. Dooms ain't dropping, Jay.
We're comparing
the triple
apples
black
to apples. But like when are they going to stop the fuckery with the foams?
I don't think this is the fuckery. It's not Weatherman.
They ruined that franchise.
You hate the foams now.
They made me hate the foams with the Dopplers and the Weathermans and the camos and all those other stupid Army Navy store colorways. They ruined the foam for me because the foam for once was a dope sneaker and had nothing to do with Penny because Penny was all hyped off for potential and not his play. I fell in love with foams with Miles Simon and Mike Bibby. That's what made me fall in love with foams.
Right.
Not the bullshit they got out right now.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I like it. The choice is what's make the game fun. I mean, if we always all like the same shit, then the game would be fun.
No, and I'm saying go ahead, but like it is what it is. Like, you know, it's not a foam.
Right.
Don't call it a foam.
Okay. Well, we got a pretty dope show.
We do have a pretty. We were told like we don't talk about.
We don't talk about sneakers.
So we got to go back to sneakers.
Right. We got a real good one today. We got Mache Custom Kicks. You can find them on Instagram. Well, you've already found them on Instagram.
Wait, can we get a pump fake?
Oh, you want to do? Yeah, let's do some pump fakes.
I got a pump fake this week.
Go ahead. Who put the ball in you? Who put the ball up? Made you jump?
Okay. And I'm not gonna call them all the way out. I'm not gonna call the person's name.
So you're
out.
gonna pump fake the pump fake?
No, I'm not gonna pump because the person is not. He's no longer with that entity anymore.
Oh.
He's not there anymore.
Go ahead.
But there was a certain hat company.
Okay.
That said, hey, sit down. We got you.
Oh, I know who this is.
Let me know how many hats you need.
And yeah, I remember.
I sent them artwork. Give me your artwork now. Sent them artwork.
And we had the sit down hats ready to go.
Sit down hats was ready to go. So that's the move to the baseline.
Uh-huh.
Right? I shuffle over, right?
Yup.
I say, oh, he's gonna drive. I'm gonna pin it to the glass.
Ball in the air.
He puts the ball in the air.
Mm-hmm.
He says, send me your Illustrator file. I'm
Okay.
like, that's the block coming right there.
Right.
I jump up with all the might I have.
Did he low bridge you?
No. What he did, he just did a peekaboo, tucked it back in, and then went up with the left and said, I'm no longer with the company. I can't do nothing for you on your own.
So there's no sit down hats.
There's no sit down hats by Starter.
Damn
Starter.
You pump faked on the Ice Bucket Challenge.
Nah, I didn't. I think the Ice Bucket Challenge is whack.
Okay.
The cause is not whack, but the Ice Bucket Challenge. You're a bunch of tag somebody in for Ice Bucket. Come on, man.
All right.
Ice Bucket your ass down to the local Boys and Girls Club and donate some funds and some sneakers. Let's not get into that because a lot of people.
You're gonna make them mad.
80% of the people I know for a fact that the Ice Bucket Challenge, not a dime came out their pocket.
Well, dimes came out of my pocket.
Dimes came out of my pocket too. I supported, but I didn't do the Ice Bucket Challenge.
Wanted to. All right.
You wanted to be an internet hit. I don't give a shit.
I don't care about that.
You want to show everybody a wet T-shirt contest.
Get out of here.
All right.
Get out of here.
Can we get to the business?
So we got great guest Mache Custom Kicks.
Yes.
Mache is going to join us here in a few seconds.
But okay, when he comes on, I'll ask him. You know how many people probably butchered his name?
It's Mache.
Right. He had to do. It got to the point where he put it phonetically. He did on his call like this is how it was like Mache.
Unbelievable.
We got to bring him on.
It's not that hard.
No, it isn't.
It is not that hard. But Mache is probably, I think, one of the most creative, original guys in the game.
Top 5 dead or alive.
You think so?
Absolutely. But he has his own lane. There's other guys that we talk about that have their lane too, like the guys that reconstruct, that deconstruct and reconstruct. You know what I'm saying? They have their lanes. His lane, as far as like freehand painting,
yep,
is one of the top of the best.
Yeah, original too. He doesn't bite.
Right.
There's so many biters in the sneaker game.
Then you have people like No Hold Customs, Naldo.
Right.
Who's dope.
JBF.
Yeah, JBF. You know.
Yep.
We're talking about people like you know, I mentioned Naldo because Naldo mixes his own paints. Comes up custom, innovates, and that's what you look for. Mache was doing this when it wasn't popular.
No, he definitely was.
And you gotta respect, the dudes that did remix the kicks.
Mm-hmm.
They were the originators. They were originators of, when Nike was just putting out, they were taking plain Air Force Ones, painting them, selling them, and then, Nike said, let's do a collab together. Did a collab, then smacked them with a cease and desist and told them to go sit down somewhere. But they paved the way. They're like the Run DMC of customizers.
So, welcome to the sit down. Probably the best customizer in the game, Mache Custom Kicks.
Thanks for having me, guys. The check's in the mail for gassing me up. Thank you.
We want free laces.
Oh, I got free laces.
We can't afford your shoes, so we want free laces.
I'll give you a sticker for your laptop.
There it is.
There we go.
Now we're talking.
How's it going, man?
It's good. Happy to be here. Finally got my butt out here to see you guys.
Yeah. Welcome. Welcome to
you've
Power
been-
105.
You've been busy.
Yeah, I've been busy. It's a good busy though. I can't complain about it.
What are you up to?
Well, I recently got married, so
Congratulations.
Salute that man for that.
Thank
Yep.
you. Hello, Mrs. Mosh. I know you're out there.
By the way, Mrs. Mosh takes care of all the business.
Oh, she
You-
makes the ship
You
go.
you cannot get anything done without talking to Mrs. Mosh.
No successful man without a woman steering the ship.
Absolutely.
That is real.
Yeah.
A woman can do two things: steer your ship to victory or sink that bitch.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'm still here, so
Right.
she's doing
No,
it right.
I'm just saying it can go either. There's no gray area with that.
Oh no.
Either
No.
she can make that ship float or put that shit under.
Oh yeah. She threw a life preserver around my neck to make sure it works.
So Mosh, first of all, talk about the correct pronunciation of your name.
It's mosh, like a mosh pit.
Like a
I know.
mosh pit.
When I was a kid, my last name is Gamache. That's where it derived from. And I played sports, and there were 4 Dans on the baseball team.
Right.
So we yelled Dan,
Four
4
people.
guys. But so it was Gamache, and then later on it got shortened to Mosh because apparently Gamache was too many syllables for them.
Right.
So what happened was, Mache sounds a lot more artistic, paper mache. So like I'm not actually my iPhone wants it to be French with little accents.
Every time I
When
send you a
type it
text,
in,
yeah.
It's just accents.
It's the worst. I mean, it sounds great, but yeah, it's mosh. That's why I made it out like mosh pit.
So, Mosh, you're at this point coming on here, you're extremely established. Everybody knows who you are. Everybody, if you're watching Sit Down, you know who Mosh is. But there was a time when nobody knew who you are. What was that like going from that to this?
Well, I started doing what I was doing, 11 years ago. This is obviously before a social media presence, which is, obviously put a lot of people in the forefront, and it's obviously free exposure and free marketing for them, and exposes us to people who may have never known about custom shoes back then. Like when I started, I was an artist, and I was into sports and sneakers, like everybody was at that time. And I ended up seeing someone in a Complex article had done a pair of custom shoes, and being the competitive person that I am, I was like, I could definitely do that. So I did my first pair of shoes. It was a pair of all shades of purple Air Max 90s. It was a Dipset themed pair of Air Maxes, and it was just
Purple City.
Yeah. Oh, it was
Purple City Bird Gang.
Yeah. And it was funny because in hindsight they were terrible, but back then they were these are the coolest things ever. So I went and wore them to the barbershop. Obviously you go to the barbershop, people talk, and that was how word got out back then. There was no Instagram, there was no Facebook, there was no Twitter. And, the barbers were like, oh, when those come out? And I was like, I just painted them. So what ended up happening was word of mouth happened. My barber started wearing my shoes, and it grew that way. Fast forward a couple years later, I got a little better at what I was doing, felt comfortable to actually charge money for it. But, it was still for fun. It was still, just me doing artwork and having whatever. And the people that were doing it back then were people just like me, like when we're going on the sneaker blogs like ISS and Nike Talk and Boxed and Uptowns.net, all that stuff. We would post our work, and we give ourselves constructive criticism. It was never like there was ever a how-to on how to paint shoes. It was like, all right, you're going to destroy a pair of shoes, and you're going to find out how it works.
Right. Now I remember watching an old video of Bobito Garcia. Big shout out to Bob about how they used to customize back in the day, and it was from necessity of not having anything different because companies didn't listen to the streets. There were certain things that were popping with the Lee suits and the BBDs and stuff, and they wanted, like, I remember Bob talking about doing his maroon Air Force Ones out of necessity, and because there was nothing on the market. Where did you feel your calling was to do a custom? Was it out of necessity, or just like you weren't satisfied with the shoes that were on the market itself?
It was just a matter of, at that point, there just wasn't as many options. Back, 10 years ago, it was, if you were buying a pair of Jordans, they were black and red, or they were black and red. It was kind of things like that, and obviously all white Air Force Ones were always a perfect, base shoe for me. When I started, it was Dunks and Air Forces. Painting a pair of Jordans was like sacrilege.
Right. You wouldn't touch those with paint.
Well, no, because it wasn't even so much of like, thinking that they were, untouchable shoes, but there was the bootlegs and the ones at the flea market.
Right.
You don't want to be pointing out being like, oh, you're rocking some fake shoes. So,
Right.
And you see all the flavors on the sites for the $49 Jordan 11s with the
Right.
with the SpongeBob print and all that stuff. So we didn't want to do that, and that's where that came from.
That's actually how I met Mache. I saw him in the mall at a consignment shop. I told you guys this earlier, and he was painting cleats for high school, I believe.
Yeah, it was one of the local high schools.
Yeah, and he was painting cleats, and this was a bunch of years ago, and he was just painting cleats, and they looked real dope. It was like a 49ers colorway. I guess it was one of the local schools, and we just started talking, and the thing people don't realize about Mache is it's not just the customs. The guy is embedded in the culture as an OG. I mean, he's been buying kicks just as long as we have.
Right. Now I got a quick question for Mache. Also, like, when Nike finally caught on to what the streets were talking about with the different colors and stuff like that, they counteracted with Nike ID.
Yep.
Then Nike ID to me was cool at first, but then it became kind of lame because they never had iconic colors on there, and they never had it the way. They never really spoke to us in what we were throwing. Where do you think they kind of lost it, or are they reluctant to do that? And why would people choose a customizer like yourself over just going to Nike ID where it's official?
Well, to kind of go back into what you're saying, like how Nike ID might say, like, you want to make that, Jordan 3 theme thing, and you want that one panel to be right. And it's not there. There's a reason for that, because at the end of the day, they're probably gonna end up re-releasing it or something like that. So it's like, why would we go get that release when you just go on ID and make it? But going into getting a custom and getting something ID, ID has obviously grown over the years. The options, the materials. Every month there's a new thing for the airport.
And they started to introduce stuff like 3M, and started to introduce camo. And,
right. Well, it was almost like the first time I made a bespoke at 21 Mercer. The first time I went, just the fact that there was more than one shade of elephant print, I went nuts. And of course, I just wanted to throw elephant print on everything.
To me, my first thing on Elizabeth Street, that's where I went.
255.
255. Oh. When they broke out the swatches, I was overwhelmed because the options weren't where they were right now, but back then, I remember everything was done by hand. It wasn't like you had to click, like you had to set up an appointment. These guys came out with these humongous books.
Well, first you had to have the card to get into there.
Right.
You had to have
it was
card.
Appointment only.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you had to know. You had
to sit in that little lounge area, wait for somebody to call you back, and you sat down, and there were all these inspiration books, and then there was these swatches of leathers and stuff like that, and it was overwhelming because you think you know what you wanted, and you feel like you're there, and it was like you ended up coming out with some stuff, and I was like, shit, I could have did this better.
Right. And then on top of that there was the hidden VIP options.
Right.
So it's like, oh, I can get all infrared 90 patent leather, black buffalo.
And then when they went to 21 Mercer, they were allowing certain people to bring in their own materials.
Yeah.
I remember certain people used to bring in denim.
Oh yeah.
And get the joints the denim made when that $800 sneaker was first popping, I was just like, yo, I love the idea, but I don't love it for $800.
Right. And actually, my first bespoke experience was from the wife. It was a birthday present because it was something I would never spend $800 on a pair of shoes.
Right.
She spent $800 for you.
She's done it twice.
Woof.
I did.
He put a ring on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, she's great. She supports my habits. She keeps me happy.
Yo, if my wife is ready to spend $800, I say, you know what? Pass on the shoes. Let's go to DR. I can get some chanclas. we can do the trip and get the extra change for the chanclas.
Mache, let me ask you a question. You got the staple shirt on. We were talking about it a little earlier. I don't know if the people can see it. No Galaxy, no Big Bang, no Nerf, no South Beach, no Miami Nights, no Corks, no What The, no Solar Red, no Red October, and definitely no pigeons. So let me ask you.
Thieves.
Yes.
It is like, are you going to shut them down on the hypebeast stuff? Like, how many orders do you turn down?
Well, it's law of averages. We get hundreds of emails a day. Just obviously with the following. You get people that are email for window shopping. Some people just want to ask some really crazy questions. But you have to talk to all of them, and you never know what's going to turn out to be a really great idea. As for the popular colorways like the Nerf, and obviously I did a Nerf back then, but it was at a point where there wasn't so many customizers out there. Right. So it was like, I was the one doing it.
Have you ever had to talk a customer off the ledge? Like, yo, money, that's not going to look good.
Oh yeah, no. And the thing is, it's almost like when you go to Elizabeth Street and you have that crazy idea, and they kind of have to condense it down. But like they'll they'll have an idea for a shoe, and it'll be an awesome theme, but like it'll be on the worst base shoe ever. And it's like but that's part of my job. That's what I do. It's almost like that consultation where you sit down, like, all right, this sounds really good, but let's do it on this shoe because of this, and I'll explain to them because it's not their job to know. They have a really cool idea, and it's my job to pull it out of them and make the best product that they're happy with and I'm happy with because my name's on it.
Right. Because I can just imagine people saying like, yo, I was smoking last night, and I and I want and I got these FUBU sneakers that I've been sitting in my corner for a year. I need Galaxy FUBU, like, you know what I'm saying? Like money. That's not gonna work.
Yeah, I mean it definitely happens, and they're like, all right, well, just because the Galaxy's retired, we don't do that. But but I'll explain why, and it's not like I just shut them down. I'll give them a suggestion or something else because I still want to feel it out. It's almost like it's still a personal experience, and I just want to be like, all right, your idea sucks. No.
Another cool thing that you're not brand specific when it comes to your customization.
Well, no, because I like all brands. Like everybody, I love Nike, but I also I love Adidas, New Balance, Asics, Li-Ning. Anyone that puts out a good product and I like it and it makes sense, why not?
So, how often have you given someone a price and they tell you to fuck off?
It happens, but the thing is, I think when people tell me that my prices are crazy, they look at it as a regular consumer standpoint.
Right.
And they look at the shoe on a shelf and they see the price and they're like, oh my god, that's crazy. Well, no, it's you're paying for my time.
It's a bespoke.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's beyond a bespoke because I'm sitting there with a paintbrush for maybe 18 hours, and it's like not like I'm just sitting there, printing it on some heat transfer paper.
Right. You have a policy never to duplicate somebody else's.
Oh, right. Well, that's just out of respect for the artist. If someone
well, there's some disrespectful bastards out there in the streets. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but I'm upstate New York,
right.
So I'm not disrespectful.
Right.
But no, it's one of those things that it's ethical. It's one of those things that out of respect. And there's also times where I might do a theme that's somewhat popular. Like say if I do, I'm trying to think. Oh, when I did the watch the Throne LeBron 11, I saw someone comment like, "Oh, you're jocking someone's idea." No, it was Nike's theme that I put on a different shoe. And don't get me wrong, there's a million customizers. I can't keep track of all of them. It's not my job to.
Do you ever check any customizers out? Like, just as a brotherhood, just not.
Yeah, I mean, but the people that there's a lot of guys that came up with me at the same exact time. Like JBF and Emmanuel.
You brought a JBF sample.
That I did.
Can we take a look?
Yeah. So this is actually the Atmos.
Let me show it to the people.
The Atmos Air Max 1 theme, Jordan 5.
Atmos Air Max 1 theme, Jordan 5.
And there's a real Python, and we actually we did the gloss and we smoothed it down because a lot of time you see the Python custom, you see it all flared out. And I wanted to smooth it down.
It's like frayed.
Right. And, I wanted to make it pretty close to the Atmos because I could not get a size 12 for myself. So I went to Jake with this idea. Cause Jake
and I love the fact it's been worn.
Of course, I wear all my stuff. I mean, if not, I give it away. But not customs. But, me and Jake have wanted to do something for a while. But it's like one of those things where we want to make it make sense and not just be like, let's just paint something and have you sew some crap on it and let's make it a collab. We talked about it for a while, and I finally came up with the idea. And we actually have some other ideas for our next renditions of our customs when time permits for both of us.
It's a beautiful shoe though.
It really is. Yeah, it's gorgeous. And shouts to JBF for the work that he did here. I mean, the Python on it's impeccable in person.
I look for craftsmanship.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm looking at this and I'm just looking at, what I'm saying? The craftsmanship is just A1.
Incredible. Really is incredible.
It's a great shoe.
So Mache, what's interesting? Do you ever feel like the brands bite off you?
Well, it's not so much. I mean, it's kind of like market research. At the end of the day, people are influenced by what's out there, and that goes for myself. Like when I do I haven't done a personal custom for myself in a while, just because I don't have the time to. But when I was doing stuff for myself, I was influenced by things I was doing growing up. It was either TV shows or music or movies or sports or whatever. And I think, the brands, I mean, they'd be stupid to not pay attention to what people like, and obviously custom shoes and the colorways is something that's become popular with the patterns and whatnot. So it's kind of like, why wouldn't you, take note, that people's jobs are to find out what's hot out there.
Just like anything else, Mache, also, like, some things just ain't for everybody. And sometimes this customization game ain't from everybody. And I see a lot of people fucking up great shoes out there. Does that at all affect you, your business, because of that, or are you so well established that that stuff doesn't even get to your place?
Well, yes and no, only because unfortunately we're in a social media age where a lot of people can really have smoke and mirrors, and they can really put a picture on Instagram. It might look one way, and then you get it in person, it's like that looks nothing like whatever.
Right.
But but the thing is, when you say someone messes up a shoe, I was that guy 10 years ago. But it was just the fact that there wasn't a platform for people to find out what I was doing. I was still in the basement messing up the shoes before I felt confident to sell them.
But you're not giving people, you're not charging people $400.
Well, no, but
and they're coming back, and you know what I'm saying, just like my man DJ Trace would say, big shout out to DJ Trace.
Shout out to Trace.
Everybody with a laptop ain't a DJ.
Right.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, but what happens is, when those people that mess up the customs, and I'll get the emails, people like, oh, fill in the blank customizer jacked up my shoes, can you fix them? And I just won't touch them, because it's almost like, again, even though they jacked up the shoes, I'm not going to go over someone else's work.
Well, there's some tattoo artists that won't go over.
That's exactly the same thing.
You go to a tattoo artist, like, yo, I got this jacked up tattoo in the village, can you fix it? Like, nah, man, I don't touch that. Or can you finish this? Can you color it in?
Right.
Like, nah.
Because the thing is, you don't know what they did to prep that shoe. And if
Right.
God forbid you go and do that work and it gets jacked up again, I'm then accountable. And it's like, I don't know what he did.
When I was digging through for the show, prepping and pulling your pictures and looking at all your work, and obviously I follow, but I was kind of digging in a little deeper and looking and really getting an idea. I noticed that kind of prompted me to ask that question. I noticed that 2 years ago you did essentially the history of Jordan 6, and I'm going to show it right here. That's your shoe.
Yep.
Right there. About 2 years ago, maybe longer.
Yeah, I did those for Nate Robinson when he was still with the Bulls, and in the playoffs, I did a couple of pairs. I did a pair of 13s, I did the 6s, I did the all blackout 11s, and I did a black and red 13 as well.
So that's the Mache shoe, and it came in a little small. Zoom it in there, and that's the one that released last week or 2 weeks ago, and I just couldn't help but think, and I don't know, I'm not in any way saying the Jordan brand bit this one. But I couldn't help but think that it happens.
Yeah, it does. But you know what? It's like it's an all red shoe, so it's like it's very easy to think of that. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm sure I was not the first person to ever paint a Jordan 6, but the fact is that people know who I am. They kind of take that with my name. So I mean, it is what it is. But I totally get your point, and I'm sure they're based on the reception of when Nate posted them up to social media and I posted them in the positive. Certainly didn't hurt their decision to go with an all red shoe.
What's the toughest shoe you ever worked on?
Foamposites all day, just because it's like a science project. It's something that the paint materials, it's that trial and error. Some you have to treat it like you're painting a car. It's crazy, and there's plenty of shoes I've destroyed to figure out. And I'm still kind of like, if it's a certain material, like I'll tell them like, okay, this may not be the best shoe, so then that's when I might steer into something that might take their idea a little better.
You've painted Air Mags
a couple times. First time I did it, I was scared to death. I did it for Cortland Finnegan, who was on the Rams, now he's on the Dolphins. And, he just was like, you know what, let's just go big the first time. And he busted those out, and I did. I went the safe route kind of, because I did the, Back to the Future Still kind of theme. But, it was one of those pairs that, obviously you see the auctions and how much they went for and the value. And I was just afraid to destroy a pair of shoes like that. But,
it's Cortland Finnegan. He got it.
Yeah,
he got it.
Oh yeah, no, he like most of the athletes and stuff, that they're down for it. They're excited. They're excited just like everybody else. They just pay a little more taxes.
Speaking of that, I mean, the most famous one you did obviously was King James.
Yeah.
So how did that happen?
Yeah, talk about that.
Talk about that.
All right. Well, I had a relationship with one of his like helpers and his concierge kind of guy, and he had actually hit me up beforehand. And I had done the Devastator LeBron custom, and LeBron had reposted them. And LeBron already knew who I was just based on the artwork. And obviously, like I'm cool with Jason Petrie and those guys, so through Nike Talk and all that stuff. So we already had a relationship that way. But I'd done these shoes, and he reposted them. He's like, I need these ASAP. And then when they found out that I did them, I got the phone call to do a pair of those for LeBron.
What do you call these?
The Devastator.
The Devastator.
From Transformers.
Right.
And the
detail is crazy.
What was the original shoe? What was the base?
I used an ID. I used an ID as the base, and then I did the green, and I did all the purple. But the outsole and the liner was existing. I did everything else. And what happened was, I did a run of 12 of them, and
Look at that. Right there.
that's all reflective too. All those panels.
Is it?
Yeah. So
Wow.
One of one.
Yep.
One of one.
So what happened?
Signed by the king.
Yep. Actually, when I delivered the Ironmans, but I'll get to that in a minute. When I had he found out about the shoes and whatever, and then I did a couple more pairs for regular customers. I did a limited run, like how I was doing at the time. He was like, I want to get a 1-on-1 done. So they hit me up maybe like 2 weeks before All-Star Weekend last year in Houston, and was like, we want to do an Ironman themed shoe. I'm like, all right, cool. You know, I've already done an Ironman 9 Elite, so I mean, I was obviously pretty familiar with transferring it. So Nike sent me the shoes about 3 days before I left for Houston, and I jumped in and just painted the shoes, and I just kind of went nuts on them.
Because I saw the unboxing, where did the whole concept of the box come from?
Oh, well, I was kind of going by, you know, from something that you would see Tony Stark have his whatever, and I wanted to just paint it just like the suit. You know, I went to Absolute, the engraver. He does a lasering. He did the little plate, and I drilled them in and did all that. But I went to Home Depot and just got a Husky box, painted it up, and I lined it.
I was gonna say, was that one of those Homer boxes?
Oh yeah. You know, but it was crazy because when I was bringing it down to Houston for him, you know, I'm carrying this huge box, looks like I'm carrying a bomb.
Right.
So I ended up throwing the box and I mailed it down there because I was not going through TSA with that thing. But I kept the shoes on me. The shoes stayed in my bag.
Funny story, Jay.
Carry on, right?
Jay, funny story about when he was doing that. The first one, did you mess it up? Because I remember you called me and you're like, Drew, I'm doing a shoe for LeBron. I need whatever the base was on that.
That was because Nike hadn't sent the shoe yet, and they were something must have got lost.
I never heard Mache like voice cracking, Jay.
Yeah, I was frantic.
He was. And I couldn't get it for him. We didn't have it anymore.
I was like, I need a size 15 like yesterday.
Yeah, I couldn't get it for him.
Yeah, and it's actually unfortunate because, you know, he ended up wearing them during practice of game 1 of the finals, and the only reason why he didn't actually wear them in a game was because he wears a 16 in games, and they gave me a 15 because, you know, his feet swell and they tape them. But my idea was I had actually done a pair of Li-Nings for Dwayne Wade that was the War Machine. And my plan was to have Wade wear the War Machine and LeBron wear the Ironmans in the same game. That was the plan. And obviously it didn't happen because we know why. But that was the main idea. But it's cool to have contact with people when
the king bigs you up.
That's dope.
Big. That's big.
Now your climb to sneaker fame, we'll call it. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right? It was meteoric. It was crazy.
Like I told Mache, I watched him do 100,000 in a couple of days.
Yeah, every day it was a new, and you're a baseball guy.
Oh yeah, I'm
like myself, right? So every day it was a new athlete, it was a new player. 10,000, 11,000, 12,000, 20,000. It was crazy.
Yeah, no, it was funny.
What's that like for you?
Hold on, real quick.
Go ahead.
We got world famous DJ Clue in the house right now.
DJ Clue.
What's
How's
up?
it going?
Got them customs in here, Clue.
Yeah, I'm checking them out. Some dope stuff, man. Dope stuff.
Appreciate it.
Clue, say what's up to the people on the sit down.
What's good, yo?
Clue, funny thing. I don't think you remember. You worked at the Foot Action in Green Acres.
Yeah, I used to work back there back in the days, man. You know what I mean?
That's where you got your sneaker game.
So
from.
listen, when I got promoted to that store as a manager in like 99, 2000, something like that, and the day I got there, he quit.
Yeah,
obviously he's doing better
to become DJ Clue.
You know what I mean? They told me to grab some boxes. And I was like, yo, man, look, I'm out of here. threw my jersey out, walked out. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was good though.
What's up, man?
Yo, this is Mache the customizer.
You know Mache?
Yeah.
I met you at All-Star.
Yeah.
Houston.
You good? How you been? All right?
I think Clue needs a pair of customs.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not, man? I mean,
We got here.
I got a gang of sneakers. I could probably take something that, you know, that I got already and make it into something wonderful.
Oh, I know every time we go off the sneaker topic, the sit-down fans get ridiculous. But the Professional 2 is probably one of the dopest.
One of the dopest.
Unbelievable. What a great fucking album, dude.
Appreciate that, man. Thank
Seriously.
You. Definitely. We got Foot Action ties, so you know what it is.
Yeah. Years ago.
But yo,
Right?
obviously, don't get mad at that dude that throws that jersey and walks out, because obviously the grass.
Nah,
is
I
greener.
wasn't mad. Like, I just got a new store, and everybody's like, man, this guy's coming in here to change everything. Fuck him, I'm out.
Yo, man, I had to get up out of there, man. It was too much.
You
man.
had to be DJ Cluedo.
I can't take orders too well, man. So you know.
No.
That's why you're in the perfect position right now.
Yeah.
Definitely. I see. I got the Monster headphones rocking in here.
Yeah, Monster's decided to support us.
Jay came through with that. He called the plug.
Yo, man, send some pairs over, man.
Done.
Look at Clue.
I need extra ones. So. Y'all have fun, man.
All right. There you go. World famous DJ
Clue. Power1051fm.com.
There you go.
The sit down. Back to Mosh. Sorry, Mosh.
That's all right. Hey,
Mosh just got his
Fine.
sit down segment hijacked.
But it could have been a piece of business.
Yeah. Oh, I'll get him when we get outside. I already got the business card. I'm good.
Well, we got to hook Angie up with runners.
Yeah.
That's happening.
Big up to Angie Martinez running the New York. She's running the New York Marathon. She's training for a marathon.
She's training for something. I didn't quite get it.
We're gonna get her.
We're gonna fit her.
Get her footwear right. She's a little injured. You know, the sneakers that she's wearing.
We've seen her limping in the lobby,
and it's not doing her right. Drew's gonna get her fitted. We're gonna videotape that.
Right.
And put it up on
Power 105.
Power
Yeah.
105.
We're gonna do something there.
And then I'm gonna paint them.
Dimash is gonna
customize them for Angie.
Yeah. If she likes the shoe, we're gonna send them to Mosh.
Yeah.
And just get something light. No, not 18 hours.
No.
Light.
Yeah.
And maybe put the Voice of New York on it.
Right. Pro bono, of course.
Of course.
Power 105 doesn't pay us Mosh money.
Right. So we have to give him like a speaker or a mixing board out here to go hawk.
Something.
Now dealing with the Li-Ning situation, how is it to deal with a company that has no distribution in the U.S. and hard to find, not a household name, but has one of the most iconic players in the game as their?
Well, it's cool because it's not like they're new to the bigger sneaker
They're like
culture.
$1 billion company.
Well, no, like out there, they're
serious.
crazy. But the thing is, they have shoes for every type of person. Like you gotta remember, like people out there, they're buying shoes to wear and to work in and do.
Right.
They have shoes from $30 to $200. It depends. So they have their following, but over here, it's I think we're so used to being brand conscious and fitting in and doing things like that. That something foreign is kind of crazy. And I know when I was wearing Li-Nings last year, with the Wades.
Those are like the what's that?
Yeah, or what are those bricks on your feet?
Right.
Calling me like I got Lego feet.
Yeah, but but do you notice like this is a little off topic of customization, but when it comes to sneaker game, did you notice a lot of people like with Anta and Li-Ning and like I remember Li-Ning first Li-Ning athlete I ever met was Damon Jones.
Yeah.
First Li-Ning athlete, never heard of the company. It was Damon Jones, and I was like, okay. Then I heard Baron Davis went to Li-Ning, and I remember that's when my homeboy Brian Cups, who's now with Adidas, was over there, and I was getting a lot of B Diddy stuff from them. And I was like, the Wave Wave was one of the first shoes that I said, okay, you're on to something.
Right.
It's a little boxy.
Right.
But you're on to something.
But the backstory with the from the first Wade was his contract had ended with Jordan very quickly.
Abrupted.
Well, yeah, but the thing was, it was one of those things that like Wade's a stylish dude. He wants to have more.
Well, I had a theory of just like if you're bought to Jordan to be the man, right? Because they pulled the robbery from Converse, you bought over to Jordan to be the man, and then in the locker room you're sitting across from King James, and he's opening up fire, and you're opening up ice cubes. I take the 10-year, $100 million in a second too.
Well, yeah, but it's one of those things that it seems like with Li-Ning, they're very they're aggressive to do their things.
And they're gonna be with D Wade way past his playing days.
Well, yeah, they're building a relationship, and it's cool to see, and it's cool to obviously associate with people that are so gung ho about building it from the grassroots.
Can we get my boy Kevin Love into something better than those 360s he has?
Whatever.
I gotta get him. Kev Love is my man. I got to get him into something.
Yeah.
So Mosh, for you, the shoe that really changed the custom game for you was the LeBron 9.
The Nerf was it. And like when I started doing customs 11 years ago, and then it was always more of a hobby and more for fun and whatever. And I was still working regular jobs and all that stuff. And then I remember I had people started doing customs again. I still obviously kept my ear to this is when the internet actually started happening again. and Instagram was just an app that I thought was just to put filters on pictures. I had no idea it was a whole social network. I had no idea people were actually seeing what I was putting up. So like I'm putting pictures of like my food and my dog. No idea how the people were seeing it. I'm just putting the filter on because it looks cool, like with sepia or whatever.
Yeah, your Instagram definitely changed. It went straight business. It was one point. It went straight business.
Oh yeah, well, well, it was funny because actually my first Instagram picture was me wearing the Nerf LeBrons, and that was the first time I was like, oh okay, people see what's going on. But what happened was with the Nerf was, I did that. From what I think I did the first hyperfuse custom, like because people were doing it on leather and
I think you did too. I would agree.
And like I had no idea how to prep it and whatever. Actually, I bought the LeBron 9 from Foot Locker in Danbury Mall. Went down, went back up to my store I was working at, and I painted the KD Nerf colorway. I sketched out, which I rarely do because but I hadn't custom a pair of shoes in years.
Right.
It was kind of like Jordan coming back and whatever.
With the 4.5.
Wearing the 4.5.
Wearing the 4.5.
I need to aim at you, but yeah, but it was one of those things that I did it and people went nuts for it. They went crazy, and so I started getting emails and I was like, okay, well I got to make more. Obviously, I'm not gonna say no to this. So, I did 11 pairs orders that I took in like literally 2 hours, and they were sold out. And then I was like, I was still getting requests for them. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go put the one last pair on eBay, and whoever wins the auction, I'm going to make your pair. And that winning bid went for $4,000.
Wow.
And I think that was the light bulb. And a lot of people said, like, oh, wow, we can make money off of this.
Right.
And, when I only did the 13 pairs, I kept my integrity and said, I'm only doing 13 pairs. I could have been like, okay, I'm going to do like 10 on the side, but I didn't do that. But what happened was that had people, make their own versions of it.
Jackie Robinson, the customization game.
Well, yeah. With that part of it.
Yeah.
But I think that was kind of the eye opener. And again,
people say, "Oh, $4,000."
Well,
and it's on Complex and Nice Kicks and all these blogs. That wasn't there back then. So like a lot more people saw that, and and I thought the bidder wasn't going to pay. I was like, "There's no way," and he direct deposited it. I was like, okay.
So, I remember when Mache was really making this, he was making that money in the beginning there. You would get your size, the size 12.
Always. I was always a guinea pig.
You would make it for yourself, post it, and then say, I'm putting 6 on the site.
Yep.
And that's how
you fulfilled orders.
I remember you did like a Joker colorway, like a purple Yeezy too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You wore that to that event in Brooklyn.
Yeah, I did I did it to be like the Kobe and the one that Jasper wore. That sample.
Right.
And obviously we only saw kind of grainy pictures. That one that everyone saw, that was it.
Right.
And I used a platinum as the base, so I kept the liner the same red. I didn't change that, but I thought it fit the shoe, so it looked cool.
Have you ever had people see your customs and think they were fakes?
Yeah, I mean,
mistake them for fakes?
Oh yeah, I mean it's one of those things that's why like a lot of times it's kind of sounds funny because you see a lot more basic customs coming out now because people want to have shoes that look like samples or look like whatever. It's not so much like when I started I was doing real artwork. Like I do Beetlejuice on the side of a pair of shoes. I was doing the Liquid Swords cover on a pair of Dunks. I mean I have an art background. That's what I did. And like perfect example, like I did these.
Those are so crazy.
Did these for Adidas, Damian Lillard. I did a portrait of him.
Wow.
That's what I can do. But like most people don't want to wear that. That's something that it's something you want to put on your shelf or whatever. So, but I know people want to wear stuff, so they might want to get more.
That to me that's glass case.
Right.
Right.
If I'm a Lillard Damian Lillard fan
or Damian Lillard.
Yeah, Lillard. This is
what's his name, Jay?
Damian Lillard. I'm fucked up over here. Anyway.
You're like Money Mayweather over here.
No, because I can say it fast, and don't say that because he will whoop your ass.
Oh my
Drew.
God, he would give me that work.
God, he would give you that work.
But to compare the customs, there's two. It's kind of like you got to put out the club song.
Right.
Put out your South Beach that everyone wants.
Right.
And it's just smart business. You can't keep it real all the time because then you won't make any money. I still had to pay for a wedding. It's one of those things.
That is an ATC. I think I got a better angle at it.
ATC.
An ATC Jordan 3. Would you talk about this one?
Cement 3?
Yeah, it started as the pure money from like 06.
Oh, you used the all white one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So it's all patent leather underneath that. So,
wow.
So what I did was, I was a fan of the French Open pair that came out, so I did the blocking the same way. I didn't do the denim because I know when to stay in my lane. So I did the blocking as well as possible. And it was a cool little
I
transition.
love the blackout of the back.
I
That's
love
crazy.
matte black.
That's
Matte black and
crazy.
stuff is
That's
great.
you murdered this whole shoe out.
You know, it's pretty. You know, it's clean. It's just one of those clean things. And like doing something clean like that, you know, it takes more time than doing a full out portrait or something.
But
like that.
it's this simple. This is very simple.
It's wearable.
But it's very impactful as far as like the detail, the splash.
It's
right
crazy, and it look in person. The look and the feel it looks like it's a factory shoe.
Here. Right.
Thank you.
Have you ever now, while we're on that, like, have you had a celebrity rocking yours and people on his page like that's fake, that's bullshit?
No, I never.
Have you seen that?
And it's a size 12. Fuck.
Well, I can fit that.
Yeah.
Me and Mache wear the same size.
You'll bust that whole toe box open, Drew.
I'll lean over like that.
Yeah. But I mean, I've had no encounters with you know, celebrities getting called out. But for the most part, I mean, a lot of times the celebrities, you know, are just regular people. You know, they're more than happy to show love and be like, hey, Mache hooked it up and whatever. So it's pretty quick to
Right.
dispose those rumors.
Pass that 6.
Trace, pass the let's show the sit down fans some heat. Mache brought some heat. We showed some. We got about 10 minutes left.
All right.
This
So-
is a Jordan 6. Go ahead and talk to us about this one.
This is the Cobra Commander.
Cobra Commander.
It's kind of hard to tell, but you see the print on the blue. Is
But you can't see the print.
No.
on
You can't.
But it's the detail is ridiculous on this one.
And it's
Yeah.
the snakeskin part of it. I did a little vignette of, you know, Cobra on there, and
Yep.
the top of the tongue is chromed, and I dyed the bottoms red. You know, so it's.
It's a lot of steps to dye and.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But the thing is, like that's goes into the time that gets put into it, and you know, and I'm not the only one that does it. A lot of guys do these things, and those would probably fit Jay. The Louboutin with the Python. That's
He
actually
did a Louboutin.
that's actually the first series Python Louboutin. That's why the soles are yellow. But that's the first round.
Okay, you know what? I would never. That's not me.
Well, no, and it's
Jay,
not,
that would fit you.
But just because it fits me doesn't mean
But it's
no
not-
respect the artist on
Of
this.
course.
But the shoe and it's not me.
right, and it's not for everyone.
The
And-
gradient on that is incredible.
This is Zilla.
This
Yeah.
is Zilla.
This is Zilla.
Speaking of leaning shoes
Yeah.
out, shouts to the homie Zilla.
Yo, he'll put his
Hit Mache up
he'll
for
put
the
his,
size
he'll
13.
put his cankles in this all day
Oh
long.
my God.
He would have to expand this.
Yup.
We need about 17 more inches of lace.
Yep,
to
at
have it-
Villa Zilla.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's Zilla right there.
Yep.
yeah, but
Let's
you
see
know,
this one.
But I try to be pretty versatile. in terms of-
H2Os.
This is what now Nike fucked up the foamposite Spider-Man, but this is what a Spider-Man should be.
And
I mean, this is the original with the Bug Eye Flight Posit 3 with the Venom
I call them the
logo.
H2Os.
yeah, oh no, that's all you think of is Don Anderson.
Yeah.
But
The
the thing,
H2Os.
but one of the things that's important, you know, is the paint job is the actual base shoe. You know, you pick. You know, when I looked at that shoe, I saw Spider-Man's eyes. That's the first
Right.
thing I saw, and I was
Right.
like, "That's a perfect
Right.
base shoe."
'Cause
Because
it-
a lot of times you'll try to force a theme on a shoe that doesn't work, and that's just one of those shoes that it was a layup for a base. And
So what? How do people hit you up and say, "Hey, I want a custom. I don't know what I want."
all the time. And then you know what I'll do is I kind of feel out. I'll ask questions and see what they like, and you know you get to know them. You find out what they like, what colors you like. You know, do you want to do a movie or another time is I'll ask, you know, what kind of budget they're trying to go into. Because you know a lot of times, you know, like they have no idea how much a custom costs. You know, because
What does a custom cost? I bet a lot of sit-down
Yeah,
fans
for the
don't.
people out there,
What does a Mache custom kit cost?
right?
your firstborn. No, it's like I try to be pretty fair with it. You know, the thing is, like, you can't really price art unless you're like a dead person. That's the only way you can really value that part of it. So I just kind of price out my time, and I ballpark it. You know, if someone gives me an idea, you know, say I want, you know, a basic colorway, you know, I'll think about how many hours it's going to take, because people kind of forget that there's prep and also it's not just painting it and doing all that
If
stuff.
somebody hands you a Jordan 3 and says, I want an all red Jordan, are you going to do that, or are you going to tell them nah?
I'm going to tell them no. And the only reason why, not because it's a bad idea, it's just because it's a theme that there's so many other artists that are coming up that they can do that. And, you know, and
It makes you like Mako. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, no, it's not even making it look bad. It's just the fact.
No, but I'm saying make you look like just a paint house. Like, you know, like.
Well, yeah, or like I almost compared it to being a shorter cook of
Right.
customs. And, you know, but, you know, if you want to keep the lights on, you kind of have to do that sometimes. But, you know, it's getting to the point now where you can, you know, since there are so many other artists, you know, I can defer some of those to some of the newer guys and let them get their experience. And, you know, and I'll refer them to people that, you know, I know are good at that stuff, like Naldo. Naldo's my boy.
Yeah.
He does awesome, you know, the monochromatic, and he's a good painter himself. But, you know, his lane right now is he's doing, you know, the solid colorways, and he murders them.
And his colors are on point.
Oh, they're great.
His colors are on point.
Oh yeah, I mean, and most artists, you know, we know how to mix paint. Like I never do straight out of the bottle. You have to mix stuff.
Do you now? Are you at the level? Are you going to AC Moore and buying paint, or?
Oh no,
He's sponsored.
That's what I was asking the guy. The guy knew the answer.
He's fucking sponsored. Yo, respect that man when you salute that man when you
I
see
was
him.
giving him an opportunity to tell the people who he's sponsored by.
Did I just fucked up your surprise?
No, so
I mean,
Angels Paint, you know, they've actually been around forever. You know, they've been doing.
They just came to the forefront with it. You know, they've been around forever.
You know, and they were, you know, doing dyes and all the shoe products. But then also they were back in the day. You know, people were doing biker jackets and stuff with their paint because it was leather paint. So you know, obviously, you know, when your shoes evolves with different materials, you know, that's when the prep is a little differently because you know the paint's made for leather. You know, and then we mix other things and additives, and then that's when the science experiment goes in, and that's
like
when
I've ended up fucking around with Angelus one time by just sheer accident. I copped a pair of suede 14s, and the display, you know, back in the hood how they put the plastic wrapper around, and then when I got the new one from the basement and took it off the shelf, they were two different shades of black.
Yeah.
And I went to a shoe store, not a sneaker store, one of those shoe stops, you know, like reconditioned, and the dude handed me the Angelus dye with the little wire tip thing, and it was spotless. It was back to darker, like the black that the Angelus dyed, it was darker than the original one, so I had to re-dye both of those shoes.
Yeah, I mean they've been doing it for generations.
And it sticks, it doesn't run.
No.
And it's a spot on product.
do you encourage people to get into the custom game, or do you discourage? Are you like, I don't want any competition?
The thing is, there's billions of people in the world. You know, the thing is, it's a real niche market. You know, and I mean, it's kind of like some people just want to have something with my name on it, which is crazy. I mean, it's flattering. You know, it's tumbling and all that stuff. But you know, there's so many artists and there's so many people that want stuff that even if I mean, I'm backlogged as it is, so it's not like, you know, competition. Like I cheer on other artists.
What's your turnaround right now on orders?
There was a point where I was like an 8-month wait.
Mosh was like, don't even call me.
8 months.
I can't even take any more orders.
Yeah.
8 months. Wow.
What happened with the with the Tims?
Well, what happened was
Mr. Pump Fake.
No.
Whoa, Mosh with a pump fake. Tell the story.
No, I'll tell the story. I came out to, like, I'm a proud member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. This is our centennial this year. And I wanted to gift a pair of shoes to one of my frat brothers, Richard Sherman. I was supposed to get some shoes sent to me that never came. Well, in fact, they're still supposed to be on their way. So instead of me going, you know, they were supposed to give me a couple of pair, and they were going to give me some money to go towards this if I can get Sherman to, you know, post them, whatever. Now, I could go out and front the money for the Tims and Mosh payment, and that's going to run me probably $1,500. There's a chance that shit may not happen, and I do not want to get stuck with a $1,500 bill.
I've been there.
So you put the ball in the air. Mosh.
No,
it wasn't.
I'm just messing.
But he knows when I spoke to Mosh.
Yeah.
I was very transparent of who it was for.
Oh, yeah.
And like, it was like one of those things where if point A don't happen, then there can't be a point C.
Yeah.
So
I just like to mess with them.
So we of course cut Mosh off. We didn't get to what is the Mosh custom cost?
It varies. It could go, you know, basic colorways could start around $300, and if you want the Sistine Chapel and a pair of shoes, you know, you're probably gonna pay, you know, $1,500, $2,000. It's all about time. You know, it's a matter of it. Like I said, I compare it to getting a tattoo done. If you want to get a little heart on your wrist, it's gonna cost something. If you want a back piece, it's gonna cost more.
And that's on top of they have to supply the base shoe.
Yeah, usually, you know, it's just because with the volume of orders and stuff, it's just hard for me to keep track. So what I do, the times I will supply a shoe, if it's someone from overseas or someone in our military, I take care of those guys because, you know, even though they might get a discount on the base or whatever, but
you can go to the PX and live.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, and I take care of them.
Do you get the base from the brands?
Yeah.
At this point?
Sometimes it depends on you know, I mean, I still will go out and get stuff, but, you know, if there's a time where it's, you know, necessary or something that I really need to call in a favor, they're usually pretty good.
What's your sneaker closet looking like right now?
Yeah. What are you holding? What's your favorite pair?
I got some stuff. I mean, my favorite pair was just the black and silver Jordan 5s. That was my first pair of shoes, you know, that I actually mowed the lawn all summer to get. But
just about to tell you something.
But I mean, my
you got 5 minutes.
I got it.
I'll be
keeping
quick,
track of the time.
But my collection's kind of all over the place. You know, I like what I like. I mean, I run a lot, so I'm always wearing runners. You know, and then, you know, obviously I get into.
And one thing about Mosh, we gotta understand, he's forever no show.
Yeah,
forever no show.
You know what it is, and it's not even like I think
I'm with you on that, by the way.
But I think the printed crew socks, like the whole idea is dope. Do them on a no-show. And the thing is, I do wear socks. They're just really short. It's just I came from a time where that's what we wore, and
yeah.
just because it's the trend, well, I don't really feel like it.
Now cats is wearing stockings.
Oh, crazy. No, it's kind of crazy, but like, and it's funny because there was a lot of up and coming custom elite sock companies that would send me stuff, and they send me some really cool things, and I'm like, they're awesome, but I'll never wear them. So I would I'd post them.
I like Stance. I like Stance.
Yeah, well, and Stance makes the low cut things.
Yeah,
so it's cool. Like when Ronnie was doing his ASICs.
Yeah.
He came with the no shows, and I was like, that's good.
Yeah.
He gets that part. And then when I took a picture. I was wearing a pair of Gel 3s last week, and I had the Stance no shows, but it looked like I had no socks. Like, it's like, oh.
Did you do that 15 days of Ronnie 5?
I did. I did the hashtag for a custom because I actually had a contest with Finish Line where it was a Nike free contest, and the winner got to pick a theme, and the kid wanted the fig thing on a free. So I was like, okay, how the hell am I gonna do this? And not make it like a bag of Skittles, because we know he's very solid with color blocking, so he can't just be like color.
Right.
So he wanted the salmon toe on both sides, and then I just kind of faded a whole bunch of different colorways. So I hashtagged that one, and and
you didn't bring us a bottle of Bacardi Mango.
the mango fusion.
You talk about that.
Yeah, that was a crazy experience, just because I got contacted to do it, and I didn't understand the size of the project that it was.
It was huge.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Like when they shot the video.
Well, set it up though. Set it up. I don't know that everybody even knows what you're talking about.
I participated in that project, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was one of the.
Well, actually, I remember Clark hit me up first, and he was like, "Hey, my guy is gonna hit you up about this. If you're interested." I'm like, "Well, obviously."
Fuck yeah.
So yeah, so they hit me up, and they wanted me to do some shoes for their campaign, and then the complex part of it wanted to do a video, like a kind of a process and a little backstory and whatever. So they set it up, and they wanted to do it in my studio, but at the time I was still working at the house, so I wanted to keep church and state kind of separate.
Right.
So
I remember that.
So we didn't really want to have the whole camera crew in like my house. So they ended up running out of space in Brooklyn, and they got a car for me and brought me from Connecticut down there. And then I walk in.
Word on the street is like Mache didn't want nobody to know where he lived.
Oh yeah, that too. The only one I wanted to know was the UPS man. It's the only thing I need to know. But what happened was they brought me in, and like this big warehouse, and there's smoke machines and there's catering. I'm like, whoa, like the dude, and like I'm used to having like the little handheld camera. This dude had a harness. Like I thought it was a Michael Bay film. It was
wow.
I was like
ready for pyrotechnics and shit.
They actually had a girl whose job was to powder the shine on the top of my head.
Nice.
We don't have that here.
No,
Not at the
no.
Maybe at the Combat Jack show.
Not yet.
I wouldn't expect it.
Trace, go get the powder.
Combat Jack uses makeup.
Yep, yeah.
But
we forgot to ask him about that.
Yeah, we have to ask him.
But it was actually crazy because they wanted to incorporate as many things as possible with me. So Siraj is my boy, Sneaker Room. Shout out Sneaker Room.
Yep, shout out Sneaker Room.
Friend of the show.
One of the days they had me go in, they had me do a scene with Siraj, and Siraj is a ball buster. So he's like, I roll with all these different, artsy type people, and he's like, Mache has a cult. All these people, and then Siraj is like, "Where's the Bacardi?" He's like, "Oh, we don't have it." He's like, "Oh, Mache's cult doesn't drink." Like totally. But like we had to shoot something like 4 times where I came in, gave Siraj the pound, and like all the guys are sitting there, and I walk in, they're like, "Hey!" Like totally busting my chops. But it was fun. It was a cool experience. They actually went to my hometown in Poughkeepsie, New York, to go film the trailer park I was at in the baseball field I played at.
That's dope.
Yeah, it was cool, and the video was like crazy. I thought it was like a trailer, like I said, for like a legit movie.
Mache has made it.
Yeah, he has.
He's made it.
Mache is famous.
Started from the bottom.
Now we're here.
Well, now I'm here. I'm here. Now I'm here.
Well, you're here.
You're right here.
Yeah, I am here. I'm happy for you guys.
Thank you.
You saw the struggle. You saw how we were.
Yeah.
Of course.
In the basement.
We all struggle, and that's why that's why we have a mutual respect, because we all came from our kind of own little humble
beginnings.
We're still struggling.
Yo, me and Drew like Wayne's World.
Yeah.
When we first started.
Yeah.
But listen, we could talk to Mache for another hour.
Absolutely.
But we don't get the studio like that.
Nah, we don't got it like
We're on its schedule here.
Not yet.
Right. Soon.
Yeah.
If everybody keeps watching.
Yeah, then we can get bigger and better.
Right. So, good times, man. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Big shout out for Mache coming from Connecticut down here.
Yeah.
Big shout out for the world famous DJ Clue coming in.
DJ Clue making a cameo on the sit down.
The new Mache Customs client.
Yes.
He's on the roster.
New to Mache. Real quick, Mache, if people want to get in contact with you, let them know how to.
You go on the website. It's moshcustoms.com, and if you want any kind of consultation, just hit the click request consultation page.
And that directs you right to Miss Mosh.
Yeah.
Moshcustoms.com. That's MACHE customs.com.
Yeah, and don't DM me on Instagram because I don't read them. Just because people try to get me that way, I don't check it. And it's not
Right.
because I don't like you. It's just because there's so many of them I can't keep track.
Right.
That's what happens when you have 350,000 followers.
Is that how many I have?
I don't even know. I just pulled the number
Yeah,
up. Was I close?
brother.
I don't even know.
Listen, we appreciate having you on.
We're gonna send Mosh a couple of blanks just to put sit down logos on them.
Yeah.
They'll probably run us $5,000, but it's well worth it. Just another logo on the back.
You can pay for that.
Yeah, I got you.
All right.
All right. Supply the shoes. I'll get Mosh to do them.
So I guess we're rapping.
We're rapping.
For the sit down on power1051fm.com, I'm the Don Drew.
And I'm Sneaker Sensei.
We are out.
We are gone.
Deuces. Cue the music, Jay.